Sanjay Gupta, MD, CNN Saturday and Sunday morning, 7:30 Eastern.
I got to, first question I think everyone asks you probably is, how did you come up with this idea?
Well, a few years ago, I was totally out of shape. I was what they call skinny fat. So I had a body, looked like a snake that had swallowed a goat. And my wife said to me, she said, I don't want to be a widow when I'm in my 40s. You've got to get in shape. And I said, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to try everything out and see if I can see what works, what doesn't, how healthy I can possibly be.
So you did not want to start small. I mean, it wasn't just about losing weight for you or finishing a triathlon or lowering your cholesterol. It sounds like your goal was maximal health, literally from head to toe. How did you feel at this point? Your wife is giving you some grief, sounds like. And, my wife's done that to me as well, by the way. How did you feel at that point?
Before, I felt terrible. My energy was low, and as I said, I looked terrible. So I said, yeah, I'm going to do everything, and not just diet, exercise. I'm going to work on my sleep, my stress level, my sex life, my posture, everything. And so it was like a 24/7 a day, 24/7 job, just so much to do.
Were there things that surprise you? Because, one thing I always hear, AJ, is that, I tell people things, and it's not usually things that I'm telling them that aren't things that they don't already know. I'm sort of more reminding them. Were you surprised by some of the advice you got?
There was some surprises. I was surprised by how bad sitting is for you. I never realized what the research says, that it is, someone described sitting as the new smoking. Right. Because it's just terrible for your heart. And it's like eating a Paula Deen bacon donut every day. So I try not to sit for more than an hour at a time. I try to get up from my desk. I actually took it to the extreme because that was the premise of the book. So I wrote this book on a treadmill desk. It took me about 1,200 miles.
You say you're healthier. You look great. I'm watching you here during this interview. I mean, what do you think was the most important thing ultimately? People who aren't going to do all the things that you did, I mean, the advice always seems to be, eat less, exercise more, move more. What do you think is the takeaway for people out there?
I think the takeaway is that you can do a series of small things that will have a big impact, as I say, walking and flossing and chewing. This one I didn't see coming, but I started to chew my food because there's this movement on the internet. They're very passionate. They call themselves Chewdyism, and they believe that we should all be chewing more. And they do have a point, because when you chew, you eat more slowly, and when you eat more slowly, you eat less and you gain less weight. So things like that. I also learned that you don't have to go to the gym for an hour and a half. If you do something called high-intensity interval training, if you go really hard and really fast for a shorter period of time, you can have a more efficient workout. So that is a huge bonus for me because I'm crunched for time.
Yeah, you're a busy guy. A lot of us are, but look, it's a fascinating book. I hope a lot of people get a chance to read it. But in the end, again, AJ, it's some of those simple tips that I think people can immediately incorporate in their lives makes a huge difference.